Hey, Whisper, how are you? Glad you joined. Hey, Marilyn. Gosh, I got some new folks. I appreciate you guys stopping in. You never know what you're going to get over here. Ever. It's kind of like what mood strikes, you know? Hey, Carol. Hey, Gail. Um, Carol, I probably will not remember. I do better just using the name I see all the time, but I'll try. Beth and Lena. Hey, guys. Haven't seen you for, say, I don't know, an hour maybe? Whew. Cheshire. Did y'all see Cheshire's video with the goats the other day? That's why I'm calling her Cheshire Goat this week. And I've got a few light bulbs replaced that needed to be replaced. So the lighting is better. I'm happy about that. Got to make sure if Kimberly comes in that my desk looks kind of neat. That's a joke. Oh, cool, Whisper. Gotcha, baby. And I dinged the bell. Thank you for letting me know, Beth. Little goats are so cute. And our little mini schnauzer, little 9-pound mini schnauzer, jumps all fours like they do. It's cute. It's okay, Carol. We're easy. Yesterday I was, I'm still working on the big computer. It's still giving me fits. And you have to get into a computer frame of mind for that stuff to click. And I can only do it an hour or two a day. So it's something that I did. And now I is going to have to fix it. So anyway, I was sitting over there in between waiting for, things that I was trying for troubleshooting. I cleaned up my oil station. It was such a mess on Tuesday. It just made me mad. So I got in there and took all the paint out, everything off of that pull-out tray, scraped the glass palette clean, sorted my oil brushes, put them where I would know where they are. And I just kind of like it over there now. And as benefit of the reorganization I did, now it's about 6 months ago, I was able to go right where these are. We bought one of those square cubbies. It's like a closet piece. It's not as sturdy as the ones I bought in here from Walmart, but it's one of those closet rack things. And some kid had it in their room, and it had colored all over the top of it, which of course is fine. Anyway, I've got that in the hallway, and that holds all my new journals and all of my finished journals. So I knew exactly, because I had to make more room for in here. Hey, Ian. Thank you, Beth. You're a sweetheart. So how many of you have tried Shannon Green's Journaling by Fives? I keep leaning back in my chair, hoping y'all can pick up because I was talking into my iPhone. Anybody? Me? Okay, Beth. And I know Topaz has. She finally convinced me that she'd done it before so I could quit telling her how to. That was in Janet's stream. Anybody besides Beth have tried it? Oh, cool, Beth. I'll have to make sure I watch them. I didn't have you subscribed. Well, I do now. And I dinged your bell. Hey, Joycey, have you done journaling by fives? I'm taking a poll. So far, Beth is the only victim. Hey, Lisa. Glad to see you. Marilyn, hello. I don't think I said hello to you before. Well, if I did say twice, then you're welcome twice. I had such a good time Tuesday doing that oil painting for you guys. I was so tempted to go back over there, but I still got to keep mixing things up because not everybody does oil or wants to do oil or is interested in oil. So today I'm going to have an easy day. Hi, Branson. Cool, Lisa. Hi, Carrie. That's right, Beth. Good grief. Hit me over the head. You're the one that did your group was what triggered Shannon because Rosemary Morris told Shannon that you were doing it. So Shannon popped in over on your stream. I'll get it right in a minute. I'm old, okay? Can I use that excuse? Did you like it, Lisa? I don't know who I saw the blue jars painting, but normally I plan my compositions a little better. But it turned out okay. It was heavy on the left. So that was another reason why I put the orange and the stuff over in that empty right area. I may come back in after that's dry and try putting a lighter tone over that background and scrape it back. That might brighten that one up a little bit. Thank you, Lisa. I aim to do more of them. All right, where are we on time? We're close. I sit in my cozy chair in the living room. I got that from Jersey Girl, and watch everybody's videos and go, "Oh, I want to do that. I've got the stuff, but when am I going to do it? I have to give something up to add something else." I enjoy painting acrylic. I enjoy junk journaling. I just enjoy it all. And I want to do some more pastels on screen for you. The problem with the two easels is getting the camera at an angle where you guys can see it. So I'm working on it. It was a little bit better Tuesday, but I have another option to try. So Lord knows I've got the tools. The newest tool I got on Wish, the place like AliExpress that I like so well. And it clamps on the table and it's got a real strong cord that you can adjust. And then you clamp your iPhone in it. I think I could clamp my Logitech camera, which is what I'm using now, to that. And then I could clamp it and have it overhead. So I don't know. We'll see. I paid $4 for it. Isn't that amazing? Doesn't this just make you want to smile? These are my good brushes. I mean, you know, with a few exceptions. Water brush and a cheap bamboo calligraphy brush. And these are my favorite synthetic brushes for scrubbing and getting paint wet in pans and stuff. So I keep those handy. Another calligraphy. Anyway, look at all those little baby Kalinskis. I hope none of them had to die to make my brushes. Anyway, that just makes me smile, so I just leave it sitting right there. And I didn't ever talk about this. We're all so busy having fun. Art Secret Pointed Hockey. You bet. Oh, and this is a Princeton Neptune. It's half natural, and it is a great brush. You talking about this one, Ian? Hold it, maybe. No? Okay. This one? I can't see my phone. The hockey. I don't see a hockey in there. This that's a silver. Don't ask me why I bought it, because I don't use flats very much. Trying to get it where you can see it. No. This one. That's flat. And that one's flat. That was sort of. That's the Cheap Joe's Loose Goose. So there are three. That's not flat. Let me look. That's the only flat in this bucket. Unless it's the Isaby. It's silver. Isaby's not in here. There it is. Nope, that's Jean Haynes. What drat? Where is it? There. Okay. So we have one, it's the silver flat. We have two, it's the Loose Goose natural. And we have three, that's the Isaby pedigree. It's a cat's tongue when it's wet. So which one? 1, 2, or 3? Oh, it's not in this bucket. All right, so none of these, correct? My art secret. Gosh, I don't remember a flat one. This one's SAA. You tell me. I wonder where I had any flats. These are kind of my bucket of things I use occasionally. I wonder who put these things in there upside down. Y'all like this one? It's one of my favorite brushes. I did concrete columns, poured concrete columns from a mold that I made that were 3 foot tall. And this is what I brushed the latex, the liquid latex on, and it makes really good marks. Okay, let me see what Ethan's saying. The big one in the middle. Ah, okay, I haven't used it. And I thought I got a couple more of those, but I don't know where they are. You betcha. I get a lot of stuff from Art Secret just because it's practically being given away. Okay. Love having this bee paper so handy. Let's stack these up since we're on a roll. My little baby brush of water, a bottle of water over here. It's dirty too, so I'm gonna let that soak just a minute. Natural hair fibers take a little longer to get wet, but it makes great marks, Gail. I watched somebody the other day that was using a new hockey brush. It wasn't one that had ever been in any acrylic, and using it on watercolor. Yeah, it's watercolor, and I also use them for encaustic. That's most of what I use for encaustic. That and chip brushes that you get at the hardware store. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, let me show you that ugly brush. Now you take this and use it on a jelly plate or something. That's too much water. I'm glad I got a dirty pot. Anyway, on jelly plate, it just makes good marks. Let me see how that shows up. I had a piece of chipboard at some point that would get wet and just dry. Let me see what this is. That's it. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, as I was cleaning up yesterday, I picked up a box of encaustic tools. Not very heavy, nothing in it was very heavy. And it spilled off and hit something, spilled off and hit my foot. But it didn't hurt last night. I didn't even know that I had done it. I got up this morning. I couldn't walk. It still hurts. See, just makes for real pretty marks. You paid $40 for that brush already done. All right. You use a little more water in that pot. Let's give it another minute. Okay. Oh yeah, that's better. They hold a lot of water. You can get a fairly tight line with them. You can get good S strokes with them. And these were also, correct me if I'm wrong, Ian, these are used in, maybe not so big, but they're used in Chinese calligraphy. Because you hold it by the end and just let it make your marks. See, this thing still has water. Quite a lot of water, too. Now it's beginning to dry. It makes a great dry brush look as it starts to lose water. And, you know, this was probably $4, $5 maybe. Filbert. It's number 2565, SQ Filbert, number 50. Black, I'm not sure. They do goat, horse, sheep. I'm missing one. Pony. I guess that would be horse. Lamb. No, I said lamb. See, they do this. That's a different hair. And they're kind of all different colors. Here's a brown hair. Squirrel. All right. Yeah, you're right, Ian. My brain flipped. Because this will be the same hair that's in this. Yeah, this is a filbert hake. And I have about 60 million flat ones, but none of them are sitting here right now. I think they're amazing to use. Even the watercolor that I saw, the guy was painting water, I think. And let's just pretend he was painting along, and he was using his regular brush for this. And then he took a dry hake, and I can't do it on here because this soaked in, but he just barely dusted the top of it, which made the water have some vertical lines. It was a really, really neat technique. So that was what prompted moving some of these over into the watercolor. That brush is still going. Now this is a watercolor style where you use a lot of water and let the paint mix on the paper. This is not a style that you want to sit and play paint by number like this all the time with a little bitty brush. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with anything you want to do. But it's just different techniques require different tools. This one, I was just showing you the size. This is that Lizard's Lip from Cheap Joe's. And it is real hair. I've explained this one before, but it's got a fat belly, and the long hairs are in the middle of the fat belly. Where the Kalinskis, the short hairs are in the middle, and the long hairs go around it on the outside, and they're longer. So that's a major difference there in your brush education. Anything else? I don't know, Lisa. These flat ones sure are fun. Let me get that one wet. A little bit finer line using the top. It's not going to hold near as much water. I probably didn't have it wet enough either. Jackie, welcome, welcome. I think it's a pretty good deal, Ian. Have you checked the prices? lately. I've probably had this 6 months. All right. I mean, this thing is holding a lot of water. And the price is good enough that you don't feel like you're giving up your firstborn child to buy it. Around $5 or so, I think. And there was a range of sizes, I believe. So anyway, I recommend AliExpress and I recommend Wish. I have not had a bit of problem with either one of them. No problems with orders being wrong. They're very, very customer service oriented. As far as worrying about your card getting stolen, if that's a concern, then get a card that you only use for that. I haven't had any problems whatsoever. A lot of their stuff ships free, and a lot of it ships. I'll have it in 7 to 10 days. And you can get washi tape for pennies on the dollar. You can get little charms for dingle dangles and beads, and you can get watercolor paper. Although, sometimes you have to look because not everything is cheaper. Mostly it's just the stuff that's manufactured in China. And I don't mind buying from China because one reason, everything in the stores, the dollar store, the Walmart, all of those stores, most of that stuff is coming from China or Bangladesh or whatnot. So I'd just as soon sit in my cozy chair at night and shop. Oh, Beth. That's way a lot. I mean, I got these big, not that one. I got these brushes for no more than $3 or $4 a piece. I got the whole size range for under 20, I believe. Now that may have gone up, and y'all know my memory, so we're not going to talk about that. All right, journaling by fives is a concept Shannon Green came up with. And if you don't subscribe to Shannon, you're missing a treat. She's not doing it quite as much as she has since she started doing, she designed the custom keepers. They're like a traveler's notebook with the elastic pieces. And I use these for my jelly printed papers. Anyway, these are made out of recycled billboards. So they're real cool and they're very inexpensive, very sturdy. You can paint them or you can take potluck and get whatever the billboard du jour is, the billboard of the day. So anyway, journaling by fives is a concept where you train yourself to not be so starched. So I can't do anything fast. I've got to think about it. It does away with thinking about it thing, okay? Which is the point. If you do it without the timer, you might as well just do plain old journaling. This is an exercise, and the 5-minute part is the exercise. So you can gather your materials first. I think I wrote it in the front of this one. I did. Session 1 is background, paint and ink. And you let it dry, and you only do this side of the page for your, and there's 20 pages. These are composition books, just cheap old composition books, and you glue 5 pages together. Whatever, glue together, whatever will get you 20 at the end, okay? The second 15 minutes after this first one is dry, you set the timer again and you do texture. You do either collage or some kind of paste or whatever is quick. You do all 20 of your pages and let it dry. And session 3 is pattern. That means stamps, stencils, whatever you want to do there. So you go through all 20 and you put a stamp wherever. I mean, you're flying. Stamp. That's how fast you go. Session 4 is a focal point. That could be the words or images. And session 5 are the details. And then after that is free play. So after you get these 5 things on there, you have a journal that is complete with stuff on every page. Okay? So you've actually finished a journal in what, an hour and a half, maybe a little longer. So that's the concept. And I started doing it because I'm coming to this as a painter. And everything I do in painting is carefully thought out beforehand, or I do a composition in Photoshop or combine 2 photos. I mean, I spend a lot of time. And then when it gets down to painting, sometimes I freeze, which is what we all do. Or you go, oh, God, I don't know whether to put that apple there or over here. What am I going to do? Well, in this book, it doesn't matter. And it is just an exercise to get you to let loose and learn how to play, which is something that I desperately needed to know, and that's how to play. All right, so this is my first one. Now, oh, let me go back just a minute. Before you ever start, you get your materials ready. So pick out the colors of paint that you want to use, and you may have 5 bottles out. If you want to, you can go ahead and put them out on a palette. Then they're ready. Get a sponge, a cosmetic sponge, or some kind of a soft brush or something like that. A credit card, anything that'll spread that paint thin and quick. And then you pop a piece of, well, let's finish this stage. And then for texture, pull out your fussy cut collage pieces or little bits of ephemera, things like that. And I've got recycle written on here, and I have no clue what kind of texture is recycle. So, that this goes back to 2015. So you got your paint over here on a palette. You got a little bin full of pattern, whatever it is, polka dot paper, whatever. And then you have another little bin, and you have your pattern. You've got a couple stamps and a couple stencils. So you can put a stamp or a stencil. You can just do whichever you want. And then over here you have focal point images, and that can be cut out words. And you've already got them cut out in fussy cut. So there's no, you might as well just reach into the bucket and pull the first one out and glue it down. I think a glue stick is better. In this one, I was using my my glue box I made. And that was why I made it. And I don't know where it is right this second. Anyway, I had a sponge inside an airtight container, and I had put a whole bottle of Elmer's glue in it and kept it wet. And it's been good for 5 years. It's still there. But I think a glue stick is better because it's not wet. So you've got your little bins. All right. Open up your book, and your first page out of 20, you're just going to dip into some paint. You're going to scrape it on. You don't worry about the colors or anything. Flip the page. Oh, put a piece of wax paper or deli paper in between your pages like that. Come over here, dip into some paint, scrape it on. And you do that 20 times. It's easy to do in 15 minutes. Mix up your colors. You never know what you're going to get. And then the second one is that that's the texture one, collage. So on this one, I pulled out of my collage bin a cigar band, glued it down. As good as I can. Now, I could just put a dot of glue on this, and then when the timer's not working, I can come back and glue it down neat. Okay, so here's a picture. Collage. Sometimes you can't see it because you've covered it up with something else. So you flip through here and just do a collage. Bam, something. Okay, got it? Third thing you do is the stamps and stencils. That's the pattern. Same thing. Stamp, stamp, stamp. You can hit them once a page or twice a page. Doesn't matter. And then the third one is your focal point. No, that was pattern. Fourth is focal point. And it can be words that you've cut out. They don't have to make sense, like uptown. Now, let's go back through this slow, and I'll show you Okay, so let's pretend we've got all 5 of our 15 minutes done. Sometime else, whenever you feel like it, you can come back and you can add some doodles. You can see, this one's not my best one, but it doesn't matter. Birthplace of a dream, and then something would come to me and I'd think of something that would tie into that. So we are born with a dream, awaken yours. So it just ties it together and it gives you a chance to look at what you did and say, okay, where's the story there? Here's some script writing, and it looks like a deli print. This is the picture, and then I wrote, I was here, I was there. So you see how I tied it together? Beauty is more than skin deep, because she was already, I put glitter on her lips. I would never do that in my art. Smear paint on it, you know, take a stamp pad and go over it. Here's some fiber. Anyone you want to be. Add your own scenery. So silly stuff, yeah, but it sure is fun for your soul. For the sake of art, just find words and put them together. I like sake. What? There was something that triggered that. I don't remember what it was. Oh, for the sake of art, and I wrote, I like sake too. Duh. You got to go back to junior high school, guys. And as you can see, this was a journal I had practiced some calligraphy in. And they're not meant to be pretty. They're meant to do exactly what they're doing, is get you to realize it's just paper. You've got $1 in it in the comp book, unless you use a used one. What's in a mime? What's a mime? Ancient Greece. Pantomimus, Japan, is called Shiite. Huh. So anyway, now this is the first one Vicki made. I glued some jewels. And again, if you want to, you can come back in and you can do these. That's my first one. And I was so proud of it because I finished a journal and had fun doing the background. So there's number 1. Any questions? Hey, Elizabeth. Oh, yeah, and of course. I mean, I'm a realism painter. Now, I don't paint realism like photograph, but I paint some pretty intense stuff. I can spend a month on a face. So for me, this was really, really a good exercise. Okay, and here's my second one. Little hairband from the dollar store. I used some pillow ticking fabric and then did the background. That must be, yeah, that's glued down. And this is probably an old date book or something. And that looks like, no, that's just 20. See, they're just jumbled. I did some, is that another page? No. This stuff is kind of cool, just to put some color down and then smush it with the other side and you get some neat effects. I think that's what I did first. See, isn't that neat? And it's just done by smushing. And I don't use words or sayings in my artwork for journaling, but sometimes it was fun. I ended up with this one with the egg and the face, and they were not related because I just grabbed from my little bin and glued it down. So when I came back, I said, egg on your face. I mean, what, you know, and it happens. And you don't have to do that. But I thought it was kind of fun. It was challenging to get the creative side of my brain. You look to the east, searching through the centuries, and find nothing new. And that's something that I've been saying for a long time, because it doesn't matter what kind of craft or art we pick up. The Japanese and Chinese did it in the 1st century. And there's all kinds of ephemera you can print online. I did a good job of gluing there. It'll hold. I mean, it's no big deal. A whole bunch of stuff. Go through your fashion magazines. And if you see a word that you like the word, but you don't like what the others are, just cut out that one word. Oh, I got to show you something else. You don't pay attention to colors. I've got curly hair. I sewed. I did a blanket stitch here on the edge. On this one, I ended up with one dog, and so I found another dog to add to it when I was in my free time. This is an eye from one of my paintings, a pastel painting. These pages are so cool. You could use a jelly plate to do this too now. We didn't, I don't think we, or if we had jellies, they were just new. Ended up with first class mail in this picture, and then Please Take Me, because he's got a backpack on. So it's simple, okay? And this is the third one. Let me get my what I was going to show you. I got serious about it. Don't you dare fall off. My chairs are almost too big. This is where I put a lot of things I cut out. Here's a pattern. Some words. A little scrap of something. So this could be just scraps you find laying around in your floor. So I got small ones in there. And this one is my letters. Randy kind of thought I was crazy. Sit in front of the TV and just cut out letters that you see, or print out letters and cut them up. So I got serious about it. I enjoyed it that much that I started doing that. All right, and here's my last one. This is a piece of toilet paper sculpture that I made from one of Seth Actor's stencils on Stencil Girl. And I carved it, made a stamp out of it, and then put toilet paper on it, got it wet, and then used it here. A little more color control in this one, perhaps. So that would mean that in the beginning, if you just wanted to do pastel colors, just pick pastels and put, the same value of color and put them in, then they'll kind of go together. So. No telling. It really does remind me of junior high school. Put a mask over another piece of paper. Some of it makes no sense whatsoever to have two Japanese girls with an egg. Doesn't matter. A girl in her jammies prompted quiet, please. And good morning, sunshine, because that was probably there when I went back to it. This stage of it was kind of really fun to try to put all those pieces together. Like I said, it's not a beauty, and it's not meant to be. And so now I'm going to do another journaling by fives with, see, this is just an old date book, with Janet and Lena. Anyway, let me get these off the table. The chair almost scooted out from under me. So, I'm glad I kept those. Okay, any comments or questions? Oh, thank you, Kimberly. I know Kimberly teases me about my workspace. I used to be the kind of person that everything had a spot and it was always in its spot. So to journal like that and to live with this mess with an India ink fine liner here to something that was in my last Art Snacks kit to spray fixative to an alcohol bottle. I mean, it's kind of hard to put that stuff away. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Yes, they are, Gail. Like I've got the Dina Wakley paints over here. I could just pull those and just make it. Those are going in this book. Well, Elizabeth, I did too. And pretty seriously. I mean, I just didn't really know how to play. And if this exercise in art was going to work for me in that brain, it had to have a purpose, like I could sell it, or this is just doing it for fun. You leave your judgment at the door. Hey, Judy. Yeah, I don't like being a messy crafter. Before I got into mixed media, my wall station and pastel station and watercolor station were as neat as pen. Not anymore. Okay, what time is it? 4:37. Because we're talking about that, I'm going to work on this today. Because I need a low-key day, and I thought maybe y'all might too. Sometimes I like to be able to talk more than when I'm painting and I can't. So this is my idea journal. The idea being that if I got up at a decent time in the morning, I could do 2 pages every morning as a way to prime the pump for the rest of the day. But I don't do it that way. I do them whenever I am in the mood to do something fun. This has all of my own printed papers. I have jelly printed these, or and then taken a Xerox copy of them or something like that. And this, this is my paper. That's, that's just an aesthetic thing. But I call it my idea journal because then if somebody, one of my clients needed something larger than I normally do for their wall, maybe they say, hey, I'd love to have this 16 by 18, then I can duplicate this larger. That's the way my twisted brain makes this exercise valuable. And again, it's just whatever, it's intuitive. But I would never have been able to do this had I not done the journaling by fives. I hadn't worked in it in a couple of weeks for you guys. I do this with Robin McClendon. Let me put it in the chat. She has an excellent Patreon page where you can do $1 if you want to. And she's got some excellent printables from her papers. She's an expert book binder, book maker, and she is awesome with the jelly plate, let me tell you. So I've been having fun. I'm also on her subscription monthly service. So for $25 a month, between Patreon I do for $5 and the $25 one, I've got a couple of videos a day, maybe 4 or 5 a week. She quit doing so many YouTubes because she got tired of not people copying her, and she couldn't control who the audience was, and decided if she was going to do it, it might as well be a little bit of money maker. This was a notebook or a journal with lines, real thin paper. I don't know how many of y'all know about the Beast. I think Janet's the one that started that. Janet Young. This little baby. I got mine on sale at Barnes & Noble. I think I paid $10. So this paper is real thin, about the same as what I'm doing in this from Goodwill. So like I said, you don't have to have real good paper, so you don't have anything in your mind, big stuff invested in it. And we use a lot of folk art paint. We use, whatever gives the color. We use this stuff all the time. The Color Shift by Folk Art. This is the most marvelous stuff in the whole world. Walmart has it, and Hobby Lobby has the big jars. $9, so it's pricey, but it's well worth it. That's what, anytime you see anything in here with glimmer, more than likely, a couple bottles of golden. This one is golden fluid iridescent bronze, and it is a beautiful gold color. Let's see if I can find one with some. This pinkish color in here is a Walmart paint by Simple. De La Rowney's Simple brand. It's a couple bucks a tube, but it's the most beautiful color, and Robin likes it because those paints are cheap and they are thinner. So you can just put something on, jelly print with them, and you can see through them. So that's the advantage to not having the highly pigmented. There's a place for everything. Can't find it. Sometimes I just smear it on the background. Here's one. This is the Aqua Flash. A little bit iridescent, a little bit. The name of the bottle is, it's Color Shift is their category name. Walmart, I think they're $3 for a small bottle. And there are 10 different colors. There's some in here. And again, I'm using things that are just kind of floating around the office. Some of the things I put in here have been picked up out of the floor 10 times. And I think, well, if you're that determined, yeah, this is the, that might be the ice blue. This is also Folk Art, metallics. And this ice blue line does some really cool things that I'm going to show you. Real thin, but just a glimmer of color. Okay. There's some in here, just a little. It's not in your face. There's some orange, but then the goddess writing. That's also Robin's. She's really good, so you might want to watch some of her YouTube videos first. I took this page, and I've been working in the last week on ways to use my distress inks. My oxides, I should say, because I decided I needed every color. So I did this in this book. You remember that? Just made patterns, sprayed it. Now, don't laugh. I did this at Rosemary's the other day with all the hee-hawing and the giggling on. Her face is out of drawing, but, who cares? It was just something to do that I wouldn't ordinarily do. And who cares if her face is out of drawing, right? So I've got some real pretty backgrounds here. I've done some colored pencil. Here's watercolor. Watercolor on this paper is the wild card because it's a mixed media paper and it does peel real easy. So doing watercolor on this is challenging for that reason. Ostrich. That was one I did last week or so. I'm just jumping around and finding. I practice faces all the time just because that's where my curiosity lies. I started this one. It's not finished. It's soft pastel. Again, mixed media paper, you're crippling yourself before you ever start. Little watercolor. So anyway, oops, here's a watercolor on one. Another watercolor. I did some colored pencil somewhere. Anyway, when I can't think of what else to do, I'll grab one of my art books like a Charles Reed and I'll study it and paint along with it. But anyway, this is Distress Oxides. They blend well together. They do soak into this paper, which is kind of what you want. And the more you rub it, the more it buffs and kind of, I don't know what it does. It just kind of goes down in the paper fibers. And then I sprayed it lightly. And I did that right before I went online so y'all could see that. So now we get to pick out some stuff to put in it because Vicki wants to jelly print some more. And I can't jelly print until I use some of these papers. These papers go back to when my very first jelly printing, and they are not good. This is jelly printing on Citrusol paper. Citrusolve. This is done on labels. So anyway, I just go through here, and if I find something that kind of reminds me of my colors on here, then I pull it. And after I pull it, here's some encaustic monotypes. After I pull it, then I'll go through those as well and see where they fit or not fit, whichever the case may be. So this is kind of like the journaling by fives, but different. Same, but different. These are still all the yeah, that one looks good. Okay, so I don't want another one of those. These are drop papers from a messy desk. And sometimes you'll find color combinations on them. Like here, this purplish area. I could tear that and use it, which I think I'm going to do. I've tried having my papers in a zip in a sleeve protector. I've tried having them in a drawer. Nothing works better than this. And I'm just going to pull it out, and I'll either put it back under the elastic, or sometimes I just slap it in like that. That one's got some good color in it. The jelly printing that I'm doing now is so different. I didn't know what I was doing then. There weren't really any instructions. Here's some echo dyeing I did at Rosemary Morris' house last summer. This summer we're going to do some indigo dye and some cyanotite. Lord knows it gets hot enough here in the summer. Too hot to be outside. We kind of, Rosemary likes the company and we like going. See, here's another something. I'm not going to tear that one yet in case I don't use it. I put little bitty scraps in here. See, there's something on the back that might be perfect on that one. Anyway, this is the only thing that's ever really worked for me. Here's another one with those pinks and purples. And this is a piece of paper I made like if you're training horses and you have a round corral for them. This is what I built around when I was trying spin art. And it is beautiful. It's just got speckles everywhere. I've got paint brushes and paint bottles now that have this speckle pattern on them. More pink. More papers that I made. These are some of my, these are some of my JB5's papers that I used between my pages. I'll get those out and use them again. And sometimes I use them to in my journals because you can see it's wax paper, but it glues down okay. Okay. I could have this organized, but I don't. Because sometimes an odd color that you're not thinking about using can just pop into your vision and you go, that's perfect. I wouldn't have thought about that. And these drop cloths, I'm telling you guys, they are awesome. I try to keep, and this is just an old newsprint. I try to keep some of these. Right now I've got deli paper. But the real paper like that, man, there's great ideas in there. This is from a stamp block after I took all my stamps off. Stamp blocks, and I thought, you got to use them. So I thought, well, that'd be great for wood block carving. Oh my God. It took forever. I had a Dremel tool. I mean, it was the hardest wood you've ever tried to cut. So I only did that once. This may have been a rubber version I made of it. I can't tell. So anyway, I tried it. I'm also fascinated with what the Indians do with the walnut ink, and it's not henna. It'll come to me. Here's another pretty purple pink. All right. Then I just put the rubber band back on it, and you're good to go. Let's see what we've got. Now, the next thing I did. Okay, let me look at chat and see if y'all have any questions. Why not, Gail? Why we? Oh, let me back up more. You can order them on Amazon, a whole set. I want to say it's around $35. They're a little bit more expensive than Walmart, but okay, I got back to where I was. And when they do get them in, they go out really quick too. So you kind of have to look every time you got yours at Michael's. I don't have a Michael's. I have to go an hour and a half either direction to get one. Have you watched Robin Joycey? Joycey ignores a lot. I mean, that's just kind of what Joycey does. I'm grinning. Thanks, Kimberly. They're just, odds and ends. Okay, now, Gail, I'm to you. Why do you don't know if you'll ever get a jelly plate? Yeah, it does, Judy. It really helps with storage, and it makes you use it more. I could reclaim a couple of drawers over there of ephemera and papers and stuff that I thought I needed to save in the beginning. You know, when you start something like this, you don't have all of this stuff. You don't have bits and pieces of papers, and it takes a while to collect it. And so you collect everything, and then you hit the point that some of us are at now where you go, oh my God, what did I keep this for? I don't like that so much for this one, so I'm going to put it back. That maybe. So maybe. Nope. Oh, wait, that's my encaustic. I don't know what that is, but it looks like it's something that Canvas Corp had that was real glossy, shiny, thin. I don't think I'm going to use it though, so that one's good for that. Now, I've got it narrowed. Just put the little pieces away. Keep that, and that, and this. Now, inspiration is going to hit. And Robin says something. I can't get my chair under the glue stick is in my travel bag. I have a bag over here that I kind of try to keep duplicates in, because it sure is easier when I go to Rosemary's to just pick it up, but sometimes I slip and use something from over here. Did Gail answer me? Oh, Gail, they are so much fun. And if you don't want to buy one at retail, Shannon made some that didn't require refrigeration, and they worked great. It's just gelatin and I don't know what else. Thank you. Robin calls this just intuitive. If your straight edge ruler has cork on the back or a magnet, turn it upside down. This is the quickest and easiest way to tear or cut paper. It gives you an organic edge over a straight scissor cut edge, which just makes it look a little more organic. But it's also faster, and I don't have to have my paper cutter up. Sometimes you can pull from one side and some the other. You have to hold it tight if you just got a little edge underneath. Sometimes I'll keep these and use the real thin double stick tape and make my own washi. That's fun. It's okay to throw stuff away. So every edge I want torn, and that's something else I learned from Robin. This is on rice paper. And I want it because it's got that little bit of dark purple. Not measuring. Just don't stress about it. Try not to be too planny with it. And that white I can get rid of with the Distress Oxide. I'll show you in a minute. Oh boy, little girl's getting in trouble. She got in the habit of taking our boy schnauzer, who is 14, and grabbed him by the ear. See, this could be down here. Grabbed him by the ear, and he's too nice to tell her to stop. So we're trying to now train her to quit doing it. She was a year old January 1st, so I hope we didn't wait too long. I'm going to try to capture this pink. Doesn't have to be all matchy-matchy, but it sure does make it kind of neat when you can relate it. So that could be here. Don't overthink it. And in the beginning, my paper was too thick and my paint layers were too thick. But it's what you learn. Of course, then people weren't doing just brilliant stuff with jelly plates. It's taken a while for that to. I'm not messing up anything too precious there. I'm going to go ahead and put that down. Robin glues with a separate piece of paper over here to keep from getting sticky all over everything. The Oohoo stick, buy them on Amazon 12 at a time. In a year, I've used 7. And this is my second book. So that's not too bad. What I do is just kind of keep the glue down here in the areas that I want to work, that something's going on top of. She's in Arizona, and I don't know if that makes a difference, the climate, as far as the glue not drying. And I think she also thinks it keeps it from gathering fuzz and stuff around the studio. And I need my bone folder. There it is. I'm doing better, Kimberly. I've got my tools separated in paint tins from Target. See, that was, well, let's see. Is that better there and this better here? Then we have a pink and a blue. You can't see. We have a pink and a blue page. I like it better mixed. The other thing that I do that I don't think Robin does very much is I'll start the piece look at that. Those two pieces I cut exactly the same. And then I'll just come along and do this. It's probably not that copacetic if you're a professional bookbinder, but oh well. Y'all knew what I was when you asked me to play with you. It's kind of interesting. Just make them match up right there. Remember, don't overthink it. Just slap it down. The only thing different than this in journaling by fives is that there's not a time clock on it. Oops. This one needs to go down first. I think I kind of got that one crooked. And this glue takes a little while to set up, so I would not use any kind of wet glue with this. Did you see my journaling by fives, how wet they were? I mean, how wrinkled? That's because the pages were glued together with Elmer's and water. And at the time, I thought, oh my God, glue sticks will be so expensive. I don't want to get into that. But then these really are cost effective. You sure do get a flat book. Look at this. And if something comes unglued, it's not the end of the world. You can just come back and re-glue it. I kind of try to make sure my edges are good. That's it. Jelly printing is fun because it's something that you enjoy doing, but on a particular day, you may decide you want to work with pinks and purples. So everything you do during that session has a similar feel all the way through it, no matter which variation of those colors you put on. Oh, let's see. There's that little bitty scrap. Okay, we've used that. Don't know that I want any more paper. Three elements is nice. And see, this was a piece left over from something else I trimmed. Trying it out. That's too much like that, maybe. That's too much, period. Let me take a look at some of these first ones that I called. one side of that might become pretty. Oh yeah. I'll put that on cattywampus just like that, I think. Go up a little more, see what that did. No, I like it right there. I'll save this too. You never know when. You just never know. Now let's make sure that that's the side we want that on. Yeah, I think so. Okay. Don't overthink it. Just do it. It's in our nature to do perfect. You know, you want to serve an angel food cake that's perfect. You don't want to serve it where you have to eat it out of the bowl. And that's in our nature. So because we have so much trouble not caring how something looks or how it turns out, and if you ever want to know how you're doing, get somebody that doesn't do any art at all and let them flip through one of these kind of books, and they will come away thinking you are Leonardo da Vinci. I promise. In fact, I had to quit with my real art putting, this one was a challenge. I don't think I really like the way it turned out. Because I was getting calls from people saying, have you sold that? Is it still available? And I'm thinking, oh, Lordy, thank God I didn't judge it before I put it on there. Now, where's that little, ooh, that's good right there. I like it. Somebody told me the other day, said, your streams are so quiet. I said, if I'm painting, I can't talk a whole lot. I can't chit chat. Now, isn't that a pretty, soft, Eastery page? I always save a couple of glue stick lids, particularly since I buy them in multiples. I have dropped them before and they have disappeared. They has disappeared. Let's see if this is. Come on now. There we go. This is the Crayola Make a Marker set, and I highly recommend it. I think I made this color with their ink dye, whatever it is. I've got one filled with India ink, and I'm going to use this one because it is purple. They're so cool. Come on. Drift down to the tip. That's what I need. I don't know if dipping it in the water helped or not, but and the kit comes with something like 30 empty pins. Crayola does some really cool kid stuff. I think that's good. The goddess writing changes every time you do it. Sometimes it's angular and sometimes it's kind of fluffy. I'm going to fill this whole area. Remember, crayon marker maker. I think I'll do just one there. There you have it. Any questions? No, they do not, Christine. It is on there. Once it's completely dry, it's on there. Well, the Yoo-hoo made a believer out of me. No, Cheshire, those are just goddess writing. Try it. Just get a pencil or a pen, and you just if you've got a calligraphy brush or an old one that has hairs that are splayed out, you can get some real pretty marks. And just pretend you're making Japanese painting. It fools everybody but the Japanese. Of course, I is married to one. Let me get that other book since Christine asked that question. See, Kimberly, I kind of know where stuff is. This is the same book. I bought 2 of them that day. Now this one is full, and see how flat it is compared to those others. I don't know why it's bent in there, but that's okay. Anyway, this is the first one. I started this last March. So the only reason it would be coming loose would be if I didn't get enough glue on it. Now it's on there. Look at the size difference. That's something else that's has to do with the mood you're in, which is just great. You could doodle all the way through these, but I'm following Robin's lead, and hers are more art than journal. So some days you feel like doing something really quiet, muted colors, and other days you just feel like using up some of that wild stuff that you've got. This is a wrapper that was on a pan of watercolor. And this mark making right here, I think it was Beth, was probably made with that funky brush. I'll show you another funky brush. Funky, huh? And my tape isn't on. I need to finalize my shape. Let me show you how this works. Anyway, this one's full. And I am so proud of myself. And that's one of the Echo Dot leaves. And this is, see, there's bubbles under that, but it's not a hurt anything. That's a Vicki error. This is a print of a photo of a painting I did of a Japanese maple. There's a page turned down. Some more of the Echo Dot stuff. Oh, wait, I was going to get rid of that. Okay, quit dawdling. Like that. Okay, quit dawdling. There's an edge. No, that's just a piece of paint. I'm going to leave the white. I said I could get rid of it with the oxide, but I'm going to leave it. I kind of like it. If I was more careful, I'd put paper between these so they don't stick together, but I'm not careful. I told somebody today to use something real thin on your jelly plate. I don't know if you guys are here today or not, or here now. If you're not, you're missing out. Martha Stewart has a couple of colors that are glitter. Let me see if I can find one right here. Nope, 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 nope. Must be this one. And this is called Florentine Gold. And all it is mica swimming in a clear medium. Now, if you put that, I mean, you got to want mica, okay? But if you put that on your jelly plate first and let it dry, then you can come back. You can goddess right on top of it. You can put watercolor on top of it, because this is the barrier between the plate and that. And if you do this on the whole plate and then paint it, you can do it on photo paper, which is not recommended because it will stick to your plate. All right. Silver. Let's do some silver. If you squeeze it onto your credit card, you have a little more control. I heard somebody the other day say, "Oh, don't ever use folk art." Well, I'm sorry. It depends on what you're using it for. Would I use this in a painting that I was going to sell? No. But for this kind of stuff, you can't beat it. Not only is the price right, but because it's thin, it's real good for layering. I try to not ever say never, never, never. Unless, again, I'm teaching something that this would be a no-no, but not a general no-no. Now, by the time we decide what else we're going to do here, this will be dry. Sometimes I don't even care if I get all the lines covered. It doesn't really matter. This is some of the distress spray stain that Shauna sent me. She bought it and didn't like it, didn't know what she would ever use it for. I'm going to dry this just a minute. Now, let's go back to the book. Yeah, I'm going to go into my little book now. See if something hits my fancy. When you stamp on stuff, like on tissue paper, it makes a real good something for a page like this. Don't ask me why I have a stamp this big. I'm trying to see where the lettering is. No, it doesn't really matter because it's Old English and French. Yeah, let's see where else we could find a map to go with that. I don't want much color on this page. And I knew that there were some things in here that... Sometimes a deli print too, if you turn it over on the back side, you get something really pretty. Were y'all in there was a stream this morning, Janet's, I think, where they were talking about the painter's masking paper. This is it. It's kind of like a deli paper that they use to tape around windows and doors. Okay. Oh, this is the back side of a paper napkin and some of the print from that. Anybody got any questions? Hey, Julia. Christine, I've heard soak it in alcohol. Check with Lindsay, the Frugal Crafter. She's done a lot of tests on stuff like that. And sometimes it'll come back. It may be empty. Even a cup of water, just let it sit in a cup or a jigger or something like that and let it sit there and see if that coaxes it. I had some that did that on me. Well, I mean, I'd had them forever, so Let's see what we got here. I'm not kidding you. I mean, I really am serious about that Crayola mark maker. And I didn't find it by myself. Somebody else said something about it. All right, I'm going to put this off right here. I'm going to let that go through the gutter. Here's another neat thing. This is a building product that's used for sheetrock. And it's sticky on the back. So you can use it for a stencil. You can use it for a mask. You can use it to glue onto something. So you can use both sides is what I, looks like I used that for painting and it doesn't want to come loose, but it will. No, it didn't separate right. This back layer is real thin and I got a roll of it. Of course, unless you're a horse. There. See, you can use both sides. And this side is adhesive. But as with everything else, we've all been taught not to trust the adhesives. I want this last little edge off of there. Back in the day, I would have had the fingernails to do it. Went and got a pedicure the other day. He was dying to get me in the manicure chair. I said, look at these hands. I think the day before I had done something with India ink, and it does tend to stain for a week. Well, poop, I'm not going to worry about that one right now. I can glue it down and it won't matter. I'm going to get a pumice stone I like. Let's see if we can. I didn't intend to drop it. This is one of those little things. Let's see if we can get any pattern. Oh yeah, perfect. Ooh, I like that. Okay. to put some more of that across the top of, put that at top. Like that. Come back here. You know, the subtle stuff is not as easy for me as it looks like it should be. I mean, that's just perfect match to that silver that's going on. All right, now we're going to put that down here. This I'm going to use under that. Don't ask me why. I'll use this because my other bottles are over there and I don't want to get up. And so just leave that on there. Let's grab it from here. India ink. Now it's going to leak. Y'all with me? You can do this with sticks and stuff from outside. Or you can go to Hobby Lobby like I did and ask if you can have the pieces that are falling off. And this little guy right here was it was sold by itself. So I can even turn this. I'm going to make a mess. Get that out of the way. Get that over for it. And this is cool on a jelly plate too. It's just an odd assortment of stuffs that I got. Now I'll have to think of something to do with that. This is old paper.
You don't seem to have an app named there. We could see if the App Store has it.
I don't need you, Siri. Sorry. I'm checking. Hi, Hottie Popo. Welcome, welcome. That's what it's for, Christine, is to make a mess. Look at that. Isn't that cool? And then I just sprayed the... Ooh, we got a little bit there. That's all right. There are no mistakes. Now we're ready for our papers. Is that cool or what? Tell me how cool this is. Thank you, Robin. I have a bunch of it sitting right down here on my plastic. I've got my big jelly plate under everything with some plastic on top of it. Because it's so big, it's hard to manage. All right, I'm going to dry it a little bit. It doesn't matter if it bleeds through. Since I put some of that gold up here on my finger to show y'all something, let's see if I can add some with my favorite tool. I heard somebody say the other day, oh, don't ever use your fingers. Thinking, why not? A little bit. Can't really tell what the pattern is, which is fine. It is fine. We don't want it to scream anyway. Okay. It won't give me enough that way. Okay. Let's do a little more over here since we now know that. Okay. This is Martha Stewart glitter, and I'm not a glitter girl. This is so fine, it's more of a mica, and it's called Florentine Gold. And I had to get mine from Amazon too. See it? See, I can't even get it where y'all can see it. It's on there. Yeah, then a little bit of pink on there, so nice. Now this is so fragile, I'm going to glue it down. I'm going to put glue on here. Oh, I was going to let that flop over, wasn't I? Very carefully. Sometimes this is easier for me to put it down. Put it down and glue it as I go. Got a lot of glue over there. That's not a good thing. You can position it a little bit better. But newspaper, use a secondary sheet to glue on if you're fastidious. See how nice it is to have these little somethings. Like just one afternoon, take an hour or two and just stamp on top of tissue papers. Don't overthink it. That's the one that has all the gold on it. I got this sheetrock stuff from a girl on Etsy. I couldn't find any. You know, I don't want to go in the car and go to every home supply store in a 2-county area and come home and you still don't have it. So I'm going to put that right there. And with Amazon, you can be in your cozy chair and be on Amazon and just order it right then and there, and you've got it the next day. Or, 2 days. I'm going to leave that. This piece would be better if it was warm. Warmer. Warmer in color. I need to find the pumice. Hang with me. Antique linen might work. I saw a storage system the other day for distress inks. My God, it took up so much real estate on your desk. I've just got these in a plastic bin. They're not very user friendly when you want to find something specific. Nope. It'll be the last one. Hickory smoke? No. It's the last row, guys. Nope. Well, I missed it. I'm going to use the shabby shutters. It's a little bit, see the color? It's a little bit off, but that's all right. I'm going to get my phone in the paint. Pumice stone is sitting right there. Not gonna say it. Joycey made me make a mess. Now I'm gonna spray this over here to the side. See if we can get some distress coloring going on. All right, check, check. What do you mean, who am I watching? I'm not watching nothing. But my thing was dead. I was spinning. What's going on? Okay. I'm dead on my iPhone. Hang on. Hang on, Snoopy. Snoopy, hang on. My computer is still on, so I just thought of something. I can blot this. Nope, not enough left. Bet my phone ran out. Damn it. Can't do anything without the cord. Now, if that side is too colorful, use that side, which I think I will. It's muted just enough on here. And something delicate, remember, this is easier for me than putting the glue down and then trying to line it up all at once. Just kind of do it a little at a time. Come in. I'm off a little bit, but I'm not gonna, well, maybe. You can squish it. The open time on the glues. Such. Got a little bit of a wrinkle, but that's okay. Now what I'm going to do is pull this piece to the back. It can be covered or not. It's not for any reason. You might just want to work with it. Here's one of them. I probably lost the other one. Maybe, no. No. There it is. Hair dryers have a way of my ponytail. See if it's back yet. Now I had 43%. And I'm getting my phone back up so I can see who's being naughty or nice. Okay. Bye, Beth. Hey, Wendy. I sure do appreciate all y'all coming in. Never this, never that. Oh, I do that sometimes. Okay. Well, that's nothing serious. I mean it in a nice way. Why not? See, we've got this little bit of pink going on right here. It doesn't have to make sense. I try not to be negative, Joycey, so if it was, let me know. If I was being silly, that's all right. So fragile, it's just falling apart. But that's good because you can see through it. Now, I think I'm going to stop on that. So that glue's almost dry over here. I'm not going to put any goddess writing here because the black is already scribbled. Well, let's see. What am I going to do? I don't want to waste this. That's what I'm not wanting to do. See how much is in. There's not enough in there to worry with, but let me get my crazy brush. Ta-da! I hope that black doesn't go through. It may. We'll dry that real quick. Just going to skip around. Doesn't this make a great mark maker? Perfect. Pluses and zeros have meanings. Don't really know what they are at this particular minute, but it's what Robin said. So aren't you glad that I spent that summer with my hands in the concrete to have this brush? I need to tell y'all about that someday. It is hysterical. And they were so ugly. Come on, man. Give me just a little more. I think we got it. Take care of that little baby. Cool. We got some good pages to play with. Alrighty. Let me get the phone. Oh my God, 6:04. Second day in a row. I've gone 2 hours. Any questions? So I got 4 journal pages done and showed y'all flip throughs. Hey, CB. Are you going to be live? Oh, I'll talk to you later. If you're going to be live, I'll catch you live, Miss Beth. Yep, I'm on boogie too. I appreciate y'all always for coming in, and over and out. At least the camera setup's better today. Lighting's better. We're making progress. Okay, you guys, thank you a lot, and I'll see you next Tuesday, unless I take a wild hair and pop in over the weekend.